Thank you for plugging into this Family Life News podcast, streaming issues-driven, family-focused news. Welcome to another edition of Hometown Heroes on Family Life. I'm your host, Bill Price. Our guest this week, Kevin Drake with Upward Sports. He's using the pandemic to make inroads in the lives of high school athletes all across the country. When you look at sports, you look at kids, you look at COVID, where are you guys kind of stepping in and meeting needs during this pandemic?
It's been obviously an interesting time and a challenging time for all of us. And where Upward has really, I think, stood in the gap over the last 10 months or so during this pandemic is in assisting our church partners to be able to host COVID-safe, CDC guideline-based leagues at their churches or at facilities in their communities. And as you know, there's a big gap between, normal rec leagues and school leagues due to the pandemic. And so we've been able to step into that gap and offer modified leagues for church partners. So we've had a number of churches that have been able to successfully host leagues in the last 10 months. So we're excited about that as we move forward.
You mentioned a good point there with a lot of public schools not having a season. You guys are kind of filling in, maybe picking up where the schools have dropped the ball.
That's correct. And so we've got over 1,200 church partners across the nation. And, you have experience with Upward as the coach, so you understand how Upward works. But it really is a great way for churches to partner in their communities to be able to bring sports. And we know that sports speaks a universal language to many people, regardless of their backgrounds. And so, yes, we've been fortunate to be able to be a part of what churches have done through the pandemic. And as we begin to come out of the pandemic, one of the things that we did really early on was recognize that churches had a unique challenge and a unique opportunity. And so we developed a lot of indoor basketball league opportunities for camps. We developed a program called Stay in the Game. And folks can find out more about that on upward.org.
Yeah.
But it really is about how do we as believers engage the community with the gospel through sports.
Yeah. We're speaking with Kevin Drake with Upward Sports, and you alluded to it earlier, Kevin, just about the importance that sports play in the life of a young kid, especially when you're in a health crisis. Sports is a really vital tool for these kids. You look at the suicide rates among kids over the past year or so, it's just exploding and your heart breaks. But share with us why sports matter so much, especially now.
Yeah, that's a great point, Bill. And so I will cite a study that we're aware of. The Aspen Institute did a study called 2020 Project Play. And in that study, they found out that time spent by children on outdoor activity, on sporting events, has declined 59%. And it's down significantly since the pandemic. And so the need for kids physically to get out and to exercise, and, we know that sports teaches children, about working well with others and about winning and sometimes losing, and all of the great attributes, not only the physical attributes, but the other leadership attributes that go with outdoor sports and indoor sports. And then, of course, for us as a ministry, all of our partner leagues across the nation also have a gospel-centered approach to those leagues. And so every child that participates in Upward Sports will hear the gospel at halftime of every game.
A lot of kids are looking for answers, and if you can use something that they're interested in, a ball, a hoop, man, you got them. And then if you can sneak a little bit of the gospel message in there, more times than not, you got them hooked.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is one of the things that we're so thankful for through the pandemic, that God's allowed us to continue to work with churches throughout this crisis, because we know that the need is greater. And we also know that the need to spread the gospel is as great as it's ever been. And, kids need Christ, their parents need Christ, And we're privileged to partner with churches to allow us to be a small part in using sports in a creative way to reach kids.
That's Kevin Drake with Upward Sports, this week's Hometown Hero. Join us next week as we search for your home, your town, your hero. It's Hometown Heroes on Family Life.